So I get some version of this question asked a lot, and this is kind of an interesting one because that's the fun thing about games. You don't need to dedicate your whole life to it. You can just piddle around, have some fun. So I'm curious. Please, other people weigh in on how you do it because everybody has a different way, right? I've seen things where people say, "Don't do tutorials because then you just know how to do the tutorial." But yeah, often tutorials get your feet underneath you. So I would say is like first there's like what kind of games interest you long term. Like I'm going to say this. I think in first person shooters, the problem is those are really hard to make and often need a lot more people. Though I know there's solo devs who do it because they're smarter than me. But kind of look at what kind of interests you, and then I would just say just look at what kind of engine they're using, right? Because you're looking at things like Construct 3, or like if you want something really simple, kind of 2D, or Unity, or Unreal, right, or Game Maker. Some crazies are going to tell you use Java. Someone always comes in here and use Java. And you're like, oh yeah. All right, but regardless, when you're starting out, like whatever you're most comfortable with, right? Every one of these should have a free version accessible to you, so don't spend any money yet. They will have some tutorials to get you started. They'll have like your first game, it's almost all like something coming at you and you shoot it, like in a 2D way. That's good. You learn a bunch. And then you go, okay, how can I improve this? Like, what can I do to make this better? Or what would be the thing that I think would make this little example cooler? Do that. And then just don't worry if it's crap. Share it with a friend though. Like, get a little feedback, see what it's like, see if they have any idea of something you could add to it, and see how hard it is to add it. Because often, like, a tutorial will end right before it gets hard. And that's okay. And I would avoid, like, those really long, like, 72-part tutorials that are make your first-person shooter. Like, that always tends to be, like, way too much in there, and that person does not have that broad knowledge across all those different disciplines. So you get some really weird ideas. But then what's interesting to me is you go, okay, I can learn something there. Maybe you do a couple more of those and make something that's a little bit fun, but not the thing you want. And then you go, okay, I want to make the thing I want. Now you are going to start this project about 15 times. You're going to get a little way in. You're going to be like, I did this all wrong. I'm using the wrong tool. I should learn this instead. I should do this in Unreal. Whatever. Don't worry. Man, just be flexible. Have fun. Don't beat yourself up. But eventually you'll hit something you go, like, okay, now I'm going to invest in this. And that's then when you've got to be like, okay, I'm going to learn the hard things. And then it's kind of aggravating that, this is all YouTube tutorials these days, so it's hard to find questions answered. But you can go look at YouTube tutorials for the products that you don't understand, because you'll start understanding, right? There's this beautiful moment when you're learning a language or a system where you stop having to be told what to do and you go, oh, I want to do this, so I'm going to take this and this and I'm going to put it together, and I bet you I've got to multiply this over here and do this. And all of a sudden that's clicking, and then you're just off to the races because you can start making stuff. Here is a weird little the little sneaky thing that works these days. If you're using any of the major engines and you get stuck with a very specific problem that you can say, if somebody told me the answer to this, I could test it and see if that's the right answer. You can use ChatGPT. You can just ask ChatGPT the question and say, what math, or how do I find a point on a plane that's to the left of the river? And it will tell you. It'll tell you, oh, that's you can take the dot product of a function or whatever, right? Like, and you can test it and see it works. And it ends up, you can actually use ChatGPT pretty good to ask really dumb questions that are really hard to get answered in YouTube videos, because YouTube videos tend to be 20 minutes. You really want that one little piece in there. But that's kind of how I approach it. And, again, don't beat yourself up for dumping projects when it's not working out until you decide that you really want to take it serious and you really want to try to do something meaningful. Then you have to get over the problems with this. But even when that happens, you're going to hit things that are going to make you not want to come back to it. And so I always make sure I've got a bunch of little things that are easy to do or fun to do, and I don't do them. Because I wait till I get stuck on something that I don't want to do, and then I do some of the easy little ones, and then while I'm doing those, I'm also like, oh, wait a minute, dumbass, that's what I should do. And then you figure out that problem. At least that's how I work. Everybody works differently. I would love to hear how other people work or get motivated to work in this space, because there's been a couple questions along those lines, and like I said, everybody does it differently. So yeah, good luck. And hey, for anybody, if you're making little stuff, man, share it here. Send a link. Love to play it. Love to check it out when we do our what you're playing on the weekend. We could point to your itch.io account and play your thing. Like, that would be cool. So do it.